The Chicago Bears delivered a statement performance that will not be forgotten anytime soon. In their second preseason outing of 2025, the Bears dismantled the Buffalo Bills with an overwhelming 38-0 victory. The scoreboard tells the story, but if you watched closely, it was even more lopsided than the numbers suggest. From the opening kickoff, the Bears carried themselves with the confidence and discipline of a team that looks ready to enter the regular season with firepower on both sides of the ball. This was not just about the score, it was about execution, leadership, and the unveiling of the new foundation under head coach Ben Johnson. And at the center of it all was rookie quarterback Caleb Williams, who continues to prove why the Bears invested their future in him. Williams' first drive was nothing short of clinical. He completed 5 of 6 passes for 97 yards, showcasing the full scope of his arm talent. He opened the game with a poised throw to tight end Cole Kmet in the flat, then showed anticipation on an out route to DJ Moore, even as left tackle Braxton Jones was beaten inside. After converting a long yardage situation with an 18-yard strike to rookie tight end Colston Loveland, Williams hit Kmet again down the seam for a massive 29-yard gain. The drive concluded with a lightning-quick slant to Olamide Zakos, who sprinted 36 yards to the end zone. The offense sliced through the Bills' defense with a rhythm that felt unstoppable. Williams wasn't flawless. On his second drive, he faced heavy pressure and a couple of incompletions, one due to a drop by Rome Odunze, but what stood out most was his poise. Even under duress, his timing, decision-making, and command of the offense were evident. For a rookie just settling into the NFL, the ability to maintain composure in collapsing pockets is a sign of maturity that bodes well for Chicago's future. But Williams wasn't the only story. The offensive line, despite giving up occasional pressure, showed resilience. Britton Brown and Ian Wheeler combined for over 150 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns, keeping the ground game alive even with DeAndre Swift and Roshan Johnson sidelined. The depth at running back may not be completely settled, but Brown's bruising style and Wheeler's late game burst proved that Chicago has options. The wide receiver unit also flashed its potential. Odunze, despite the drop, continues to look like a polished route runner, while Luther Burden's speed and after-the-catch ability make him another weapon to watch. Zakos' touchdown highlighted his explosiveness, and DJ Moore remains the steady veteran presence who brings balance to the group. Together, this receiving core gives Williams a diverse arsenal. Defensively, the Bears were suffocating. Austin Booker recorded another sack before leaving with an injury, continuing a preseason of impressive pass rush production. The secondary, even while thin from injuries, played aggressive football. The most notable moment came from Terrell Smith, whose non-contact knee injury dampened the night. But overall, Chicago's defense dictated the tempo. By the end of the game, the Bills were held scoreless, unable to string together any rhythm. For fans, this win was about more than preseason hype. It was about seeing the vision of Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson come to life. This team looked sharper, faster, and more aggressive than at any point under the previous regime. And while it's only August, the signs point toward a team ready to compete at a higher level in 2025. The preseason is not only about showcasing starters, it's about discovering depth. And while Caleb Williams stole the headlines, the Bears' roster battles revealed a lot about where this team stands. At running back, the absence of DeAndre Swift and Roshan Johnson opened the door for others to audition. Britton Brown's 16 carries for 73 yards and a touchdown were hard to ignore. He ran with balance, vision, and strength between the tackles. Ian Wheeler, despite a slow start, surged late with 80 yards and 2 scores, proving his ability to finish runs and extend drives. Even DeLyon Hankins, in limited action before exiting with an injury, showed flashes. The coaching staff will have tough decisions to make, but depth here is encouraging. Wide receiver depth is another intriguing storyline. Tyler Scott remains inconsistent. His muff kickoff return was a setback, but his touchdown catch from Tyson Bagent was a reminder of his potential. The question is whether Chicago keeps him or seeks trade value. Meanwhile, rookie Luther Burden impressed again, running crisp routes and making defenders miss after the catch. With DJ Moore, Romo Duns, Sakos, and Burton locked in as the top four, the battle for the final receiver spots could come down to special teams value and consistency. Tight end Colston Loveland is quickly carving out a role. His size, speed, and ability to win downfield make him an intriguing complement to Cole Kmet. If the Bears continue using multiple tight end sets, this pairing could create mismatches all season. Defensively, the focus shifts to injuries. Terrell Smith's non-contact knee injury raised immediate concern. It had the look of a season-ending setback. Austin Booker, who was emerging as a potential rotational edge rusher, exited with a knee injury of his own. Dominique Robinson also went down, leaving the Bears suddenly thin at edge rusher behind Montez Sweat. With free agents like Jadeveon Clowney and trade candidates such as Trey Hendrickson reportedly available, Chicago could explore reinforcements if the injuries prove significant. The secondary also faces questions. Jalen Johnson is expected to return soon, and Kyler Gordon's timeline looks favorable, but depth is being tested. Young corners like nickelback Josh Blackwell and late camp riser Nick Mouloud will be closely evaluated in the coming weeks. Linebacker play, however, was a bright spot. The unit's speed and physicality stood out, with consistent pursuit to the ball carrier. Chicago's front seven played with aggression, disrupting Buffalo's rhythm at every level. Now, it wouldn't be a Chicago Bears update without checking in on the quarterbacks behind Caleb Williams. Tyson Bagent delivered a strong performance in extended action, completing 13 of 22 passes for 196 yards and a touchdown. His confidence running the offense stood out, even when pressure arrived. Austin Reed also flashed, finishing 6 of 7 and displaying accuracy in limited snaps. The depth at quarterback might not be flashy, but it looks steady, something the Bears haven't always had in recent years. Before listening to the latest news, subscribe to the channel, like it, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Let's move on to the new news. The coaching staff deserves immense credit for how prepared the team looked. Ben Johnson's offensive play calling blended creativity with balance, mixing under center play action with shotgun spread concepts. The Bears moved defenders around, disguised intentions, and played with pace. Defensively, the aggressive approach, sending blitz late into the game, showed a commitment to establishing identity. Preseason or not, the Bears looked well coached, disciplined, and determined. So what does a 38-0 preseason victory really mean? After all, the Bills didn't play their starters, and the Bears ones only stayed on the field briefly. Still, preseason is about habits, identity, and confidence, and in those areas, Chicago passed every test. For Caleb Williams, this was another step toward becoming the face of the franchise. His first drive will be replayed all week as evidence of his readiness. Timing, accuracy, anticipation, and composure, he displayed all of it. The stakes were minimal, and even those few came with reasonable explanations. Most importantly, he looked like he belonged. If the Bears protect him and keep building around his strengths, Williams has the chance to transform this offense. The run game also offers optimism. With Swift and Johnson expected back, the added depth of Brown and Wheeler gives Chicago a backfield capable of wearing down defenses. The offensive line still has work to do, especially in pass protection, but the balance between run and pass was refreshing to see. On defense, the story will hinge on health. Montez Sweat remains the anchor, but if Booker and Robinson are sidelined, Chicago may need outside help. The secondary's ability to withstand injuries is also a looming question. Still, the scheme itself looked effective, fast, aggressive, and opportunistic. Perhaps the most important takeaway is that this team already looks better coached than it has in years. The Bears are not simply trying to survive, they are dictating games. Johnson's offense and Allen Williams' defense are aggressive, creative, and confident. That kind of culture shift matters, even in preseason. Looking ahead, the Bears' next test comes against the Kansas City Chiefs. It's unlikely the starters will play extended minutes, but the decision of whether to give Caleb Williams a drive in a tough road environment will be worth watching. Even if he only sees a handful of snaps, the experience of leading a huddle in Arrowhead could be valuable. At the end of the day, Preseason wins don't count in the standings, but they do count for confidence. For a team building around a rookie quarterback, confidence is priceless. The Bears have momentum, they have a plan, and they have a fan base that can finally believe in what's being built. Final thoughts: the Chicago Bears didn't just beat the Bills, they dominated in every phase of the game. Caleb Williams gave fans a glimpse of why he was drafted to change the franchise. The running backs proved depth and toughness, and the receivers showed versatility. The defense was aggressive, physical, and imposing. Yes, injuries cloud the picture, especially at edge rusher and cornerback. And yes, it's still only preseason. But when you watch the Bears now, you see a team with structure, identity, and purpose, three things that were missing for far too long. As the regular season draws closer, the excitement is justified. This is not the same Chicago Bears team of recent years. With Williams under center, Johnson calling plays, and a roster that looks ready to compete, the Bears are beginning to write a new chapter. Fans have every reason to believe that 2025 could be the start of something special.